Sun's coming up. Kind of a late start here, but I was tired this morning. I'm gonna walk down here and do a little setting at one of my favorite spots. It's a spot where I saw a buck come up on a tree. Pretty good little trail. Oh, I saw it several years ago, not this year, but didn't see anything last night other than some doves, but I did hear some hogs. I'll walk you down here and show you the ponds. I need to get my little DR mower back, mow these pond banks. Usually wait till fall to do that. There's a nice little live oak stand here. Now this tree here is a Mexican plum, and it has plums on it in the fall, but I don't see any. The birds must have been picking them off, or cows may be eating them too. So I've got this leased out in the spring and summer to a farmer. It's got some cattle running here, and this is another Mexican plum, but it didn't look too healthy. I'm not sure why. It was healthy earlier. Maybe it's just fall. Hadn't had enough water or something. Anyway. Heard a lot of coyotes last night, and they seem to be just right over that way, maybe less than 100 yards or so. So it's got to be a den over there somewhere. Sound like a bunch of them though. Of course they do make lots of noise when they start yelping in the morning or in the evening. It was pretty bright last night. I went out and walked around with my thermal on and see if I could see hogs or coyotes. But I didn't stay out too long. I was getting tired. The moon is almost full. I think it'll be full Monday sometime. But it's really bright. Comes up about 5:30 or 6 p.m. So it's bright most of the early night. And this is the biggest pond on the lower part. Still got quite a bit of water in it. A lot of times we'll see ducks. They come in and spend the night out there. Nice little game trail right there. And that tree right about there, it's standing out by itself in the middle. That's the one the deer come up and get a little rub on it. There's also another cedar tree stuck in the woods right there that they rub on quite a bit. So along a game trail that crosses this one, it goes right up the side of this hill here. So my little spot's gonna be right there on that edge overlooking that tree. It's only about, I don't know, 20 or 30 yards from it. Be a good bow shot. But it's real close to that path that comes up the hill from the tree, so. There's some hog tracks right there. There's some cow tracks too, but there's some hog tracks definitely. Hog. So definitely they're running along this little trail here. There's a nice little overlook right down that way. And right down there, about as far as you can see in the field, past that about 20 or 30 yards, is a coyote den that I found. I haven't disturbed it much. I've just kind of found it, and there was a coyote that came out of it. It was a real funny color looking coyote too. Kind of reddish. Anyway, let's sneak in here and see if we got, I don't know how much brush we got to deal with, but I usually bring some clippers. At least everything's kind of wet this morning. It's not too noisy like it was last time. There's the old remnants of a stand that somebody built a long time ago. Yeah, let's see here. Most of the time I'll sit right in there. And if I see something, I'll get up and kind of. Because last time the deer came right over this hill, going right up to that way. So it makes a good shot right through there if they come up this way. Anyway, let's snakes first. Check. I definitely should have brought my clippers. I'll see if I can't get my knife out and trim some of this away real quietly. I'll bring you back when I get set up. Bye. Okay, got a little bit of this brush cleared out here. Got my little seat. Place to hang my bow right there. I can see along this hillside here. And the main thing I'll be looking for is just watching down in this area here. So there's that tree right there that deer come and rub on, and that's probably, it's about 25 to 30 yards right there. Anyway, we'll sit here for about an hour or so, see if anything comes by. I'll get this camera set up to where it's pointing down that way, so I can turn it on if anything comes. Well, I got the camera mounted to this tree right here that my bow's hanging on and looking down in the right direction, so if anything comes on, I can turn it on, should be able to capture it, so. It's a nice quiet morning, not much breeze at all. Size hawk come out there and he flew right this way. Perfect. I seen a Harris hawk out here, which is one of the bigger hawks. And I've seen peregrine falcons out here. And I'm not sure what kind that was. It was either a red-tailed hawk, maybe. I'm not sure, but anyway. Didn't see a whole lot other than that one hawk. So I sat there about an hour, maybe hour and a half. So, gonna head back into camp, go into town, eat some breakfast, and then get back out here and try to get to work on some cutting up some dead trees. Fly. We had a fire come through almost 3 years now and burned up a lot of oaks, and there's a lot of standing dead oak. It's good firewood that needs to be processed. I won't ever get it all done, but I get a lot of it done, so that's my task for this next couple days. You know, it's really dangerous out here when you're sitting on a stand like I was for an hour and a half and nothing's happening. Seems like your Amazon account goes up. Anyway, pretty morning. Nothing down at the pond that I can see. flowers here. Purple flowers. Little cactus with the deer really like that little red. I guess they're flowering fruits. And the cactuses, the deer like those. Ooh, it's warming up. All right. Time to get to work. I'll try to show you a little bit what I'm doing down here as far as wood processing and getting things prettied up. Most of it's on the north part of the property, up by the road. It's really a mess, but been trying to work at it the last year or two and getting a few things cleared out. So see you in a bit. Bye. Free-ranging ribeye. Not supposed to be on here, buddy. Ranger's supposed to be moving them off. I think it was 1st of October, but it's already past that. I'm not too worried about it because grass definitely needs to be munched down around here. Saves me a lot of bush hogging. So this, you can see kind of where the fire came through here. And a lot of standing oak trees. A lot of good firewood all the way back through in there. I started cleaning out this little section here. Try to find a few oak trees that are coming back from the stumps, pruning them out, and try to leave them as new growth. So I might come through here and prune these out a little bit more. I don't know if I'll continue working on this section here. Probably up around the gate area. There's a whole bunch of, it's pretty ugly. And the bad thing about it, all these green briars get in here and just overgrow all this stuff, and it makes it really hard to get in there and clear it out. It's a pretty massive fire that moved through here. I was actually here when the fire came through, and I was in my campsite down there, asleep in the camper, or actually just getting ready to go to sleep. It was a little after 11 o'clock, and I looked out the window just right before I went to sleep, and I saw this orange glow on the horizon, and I knew right away it was a fire. And the winds were about 60 or 70 miles an hour from the glow coming straight my direction. So I got up just as quick as I could in about 5 minutes. Threw everything I could in my truck and started driving this road here out to the gate. And I was driving into the smoke because the winds. I can still tell the fire was maybe half a mile away or so, but there's a lot of smoke. So I drive all the way up here to my gate entrance, and of course my eyes were all watery and it was smoky. I couldn't hardly see to get my lock off, my padlock unlocked. And I finally did, got it all unlocked, and then opened it up, and there was fire trucks running up and down this this is a county road right here in front for Brown County. And fire trucks were running up and down the road, and I stopped one and said, "Which way do I need to go?" And they said, "Go east." So I went down there east, and I sat down there, and for about the next 3 hours I watched that fire come across here and jump the road and then get on my property and just started. I mean, there was flames higher than all these trees around here, just leaping from one tree to the next. Of course, it would have been awfully dry, and I'm glad this big old oak here at the entranceway survived. But you see, all these didn't, and I had a tree right there. It just fell over on my fence, so I'm trying to go through, and this is an easement over here. It's not really my property, but I'm trying to get any trees there that's going to fall on the fence. But yeah, just a lot of cleanup work to do around here. A lot of these are starting to fall over now that they're dead. I'm trying to go in and cut them before they fall, so it's got good wood. As soon as they hit the ground, the bugs and everything just start deteriorating pretty quick. So anyway, this little entrance here I kind of cleaned out. I need to go through and get that dead tree out of here, and then I'm going to go in and I think cut down some of these smaller ones to open this up a little bit, just leave a few oaks. So anyway, thought I'd share that with you. I'm gonna run in town and get some breakfast. Good old Cross Plains, Texas. Population 899 is what the sign said. And we're gonna pull in here to Jean's Feed Barn. Get some breakfast. So if you're ever in Cross Plains, stop by Woody's Museum. It's a really neat place. This is an old Texaco station. That's their gift shop there. Beautiful old oak tree. And the attraction is Woody's Museum and baseball card collection. It's a car and baseball card museum. So the story as I know it was I think Woody and his wife live somewhere close to Cross Plains, and he was avid car collector and baseball collector, and when he passed, his wife built this beautiful museum in his honor, and it's free of charge, and it's open 10 to 4 Thursday through Saturday. So come check it out. Let's go look at it. Beautifully done ceilings and museum area. cool little Jeep that he allows veterans to sign, which is very nice, I think. '69 Ford Mustang Mach 1. This is Brandon's dream car. He's got all the specs and details. $4,800 new, back in 1969. And all his cars are documented pretty much like this. And then going the stairways up top is where all his baseball collection is. He's got a really nice set of cards, bats, signs, memorabilia, pictures. All nicely laid out, nicely done. 68 Shelby GT 500. Very nice. It's kind of a newer Mustang, one of his newer ones. I think this one is 6,900 miles, original miles on it, so. Just really nice display. And they got a little room in the back for, I guess, kid parties or something if they want to have food here, but they try to keep all the food out of this area. It's kind of neat how they have all the old car hops. For you all that don't know, this is how we used to get served at the Sonic, with little trays on our window. '64 Mustang. And he has a few Corvettes in here. Very nice. Here's two Mustangs fixing to run down the road and see who's the fastest. And this edition here was just opened earlier this year, and it's called the Stable, and it's a really neat. So all this is a metal frame construction. This is totally wood construction in here. Fitted out like an old barn. Very cool. Like the cross. This is just a beautiful building, the way it's made with all the solid wood beams. Tin siding. He's got a big old Aero motor windmill up here. Yes. Enjoying it. Thank you. No, you're all right. Just really neat displays. I got a few of them running around. Old flathead. I guess that's what that is. Got the chicken coop here. You hear all the steel expanding and popping, and it's starting to warm up outside. I used to do cutting horses, so this is kind of his little area where all his ribbons he won doing his cutting. And that's the exit to the through the gift shop. And we'll run through there. Oh, this is cool. Old chuck wagon. Very nice. So if you're ever close to Cross Plains, stop in here Wednesday or Thursday through Saturday, 10 to 4. Check out a beautiful car collection. Oh yeah, that way easy to see. This was all cool, all blacked out. They got nice little documentation about most of the cars here. Wow, that's pretty cool. A tribute to the Duke and Roy Rogers. Cool. And there's the actual coat worn by Lee Marvin. I guess his movie Cat Ballou. There's a picture of Woody with it on. Dan Woody Wood. Gunsmoke Legends. Clint. The Cowboys, John Wayne cast. And I guess he probably liked to play the drums, I'm assuming. So, a little bit of musical taste. Got some old American, Native American heritage stuff here. Pretty cool. And an old guy getting a bath over there in a tub. Nice little pump organ, little bitty thing. Alright, we'll run up through the baseball collection. Hey, partner, watch out. I usually come through here every time I come, but it's kind of getting old to me, but it's pretty. Wanted to share a little bit of it with everyone. So there's a little musical escapades. Texas Rangers fan, yep. Beltray. I guess he took a warm-up plate with him or moved it or something. And he signed it, and I guess this guy ended up with it in the museum. Pretty cool. Andre Beltray. There's some of his memorabilia. Got a glove, bat. How are you doing?
Good. Are you guys from the ranch? Are you guys out there at the ranch?
All right, nice young lady was just asking if I had any questions or anything, so I usually have a couple of volunteers working this place. My neighbor out there, he's got the ranch right next to mine. He volunteers up here sometimes. '23 World Series. Pretty cool. The World Series ring, I guess. Remake of it. Not sure. Here's Pudge's Corner. So a guy I know played baseball with Pudge for a while. We were in the minor leagues together. He never went up to the majors, but Pudge did, and did have pretty good career with the Rangers. So. Show these original dugout seats signed by a few people here. Of course, you gotta have the Noel and Ryan corner. Mr. Texas Ranger himself. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Nolan Ryan's 7 no-hitters. That's awesome. Just awesome. Here's number 7. Pretty old for a guy still throwing a ball. Pretty cool. And he's got a lot of cards here that I'm not don't know a lot about the card value, but I'm sure those are pretty valuable cards. There's some Babe Ruth stuff. Cool. Well, that's kind of it. I'll walk you through the visitor center here in a minute. I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. John 14:6. So right off the stable museum is the bookstore, or the gift shop, I guess. And it's pretty cool. They have a lot of Christian books and stuff, all free of charge. And then if you buy any Woody's memorabilia, like shirts or whatnot, then all the money they collect off that goes to charity of your, they have 4 or 5 charities that you can put into certain buckets, and they get, charities get all the proceeds. So very nice. Glory be to God. Amen. So this is a little gift store here, and all the books. And then they have, of course, hats and shirts and everything about the museum that are for sale. So, and here's all the different charities that all the proceeds go to. You just get a ticket, you stick it in the bucket, and they get the proceeds. So very nice. Well, I'm about out of battery, so I'll get y'all up here in a little bit. Bye. I got the camera updated. This is a Covert Scout, I think. But anyway, it's one of the wireless cameras that send pictures if the deer come in here to feed. So I got this fenced off. I'm gonna bring my DR mower up here and get all this grass leveled off because it'll trigger the camera. Makes it hard to see. But got the protein filled up. It's full, and it'll help with the antler growth and also the newborns and stuff like that. So try to keep the protein going through most of the winter and springtime. So anyway, got the protein fed. I got to get back here and mow this, so I'm gonna leave this gate open for right now. I don't think the hogs will come in here till I get back, and then I'm gonna go do a little more brush hogging and a little chainsaw in here a little bit. I may wait till I get the chainsaw out till it gets a little closer to dark, so it gets a little bit cooler. better. I'm gonna clean up this trash here. I got the fence line and the gate. Get all that wood moved there so I can bush hog all the way down the fence line. Need to hop the fence and work on this stuff, even though it's not mine, but get it away from the fence anyway, so looking good. you look at that view. Blue skies, nice clouds. Looks much better where I've got it bush hogged. Always do that when it gets tall right before winter because keeps the fire hazard away from the camp area here. I've still got to do all that out that way. But the main thing is around the camper here, because when we had that fire 3 years ago, it burnt up right to the edge of the camper, but the grass was low like this, and so it really didn't hurt anything. Whereas the flames way up there were like just huge up in the trees. So anyway, looks much better. I'm going to show you a couple things here. That fire came through about 3 years ago. This big oak tree right here at the entranceway. Boy, it really took a beating. It's charred all the way up and down, even up on that limb. That limb right there. But I think it's going to survive. It's greened out, but you can see down at the bottom here, it really got charred. I don't know if you can see that on the camera or not, but unlike this guy here, and that guy, they got totally burnt up. So anyway, so yesterday I was, in the evening, I was trying to push some of this brush out away from this tree so I get in there and saw it, because it's just all mangled like this right here. And I have my bucket down and I'm just pushing along this brush. Next thing I know, there's bumblebees buzzing all around me. So there's a bumblebee nest down in that dirt there, or I saw them also go back in by this branch over here. I probably stirred up their hormones so they don't know where the entrance is, or it may be buried or mashed. The hole may be mashed. But anyway, so I got to leave this tree till winter time when I come back and clean it up, because that's the one thing that scares me out here a lot is not only the bumblebees, but I got into a Africanized bees, I think. I was bush hogging through the real thick brush like this, and there was a tree that was hollowed out by halfway up, and it was full of bees. And just the sound, I didn't hit the tree or anything, but just the sound and the vibration of that bush hog on the ground really lit those bees up. And they chased me. I hopped off the tractor, and the PTO is made to turn off as soon as you get off the seat. So I ran probably 100 or more yards, and those bees were still after me. So if they're regular honeybees, they don't follow you more than probably 50 yards. But Africanized will follow you quite a ways. But I got stung about 8 times or something, and my adrenaline was just pumping. I could tell that my heart was beating and adrenaline was flowing. So that's the one thing that scares me out here, is getting into a nest of bees and then trying to run through stuff like this. It's a recipe for disaster. So I did buy a bee suit, but that thing is just so hot and cumbersome to get into. So a lot of times I leave some of this thicker bush hogging till winter time when it gets cold and the bees aren't active. So another thing I was going to show you is I always have a problem with these green briars here, and they grow up along this fence line, and they'll just wrap up and they grow in amongst all these trees and everything. But the fence line is kind of hard, but I found that this on this Echo, putting this little spinning saw blade here, it's got these real fine little teeth on it, and those things work surprisingly well to nip off those briars right at the base there. So That's the best thing I've found to clear this. And then once I get it cleared, I try to come in and spray it, but man, that spray doesn't last very long. You got to really stay after it or your fence row will get grown up. Now, all this fence row here was replaced by me and my brother last year because it was mostly wooden posts down through here, and that fire just burnt everything up. So this whole fence row was gone. And we came in, and I'm not the best fence row builder, and we tried to use what we could for wire, but this definitely needs to be replaced. It's brittle. It's been heat stressed. But anyway, we got up enough to keep cows in and out, so that's where it is now. So I think for the rest of the day, I'm gonna try to clean up this entranceway a little bit, even though it's not on my property. I try to get some of this stuff away from the fence line so it's manageable, but because if you just leave it there, you can't shred through it, bush hog it, and it just gets grown up with greenbriers, and then you can't get through there. It's just impossible. That, and there's a couple of trees. There's one limb down there that I got to go get. It's across the pathway there. There's several other dead trees from this side that are leaning over, about ready to fall on the fence. I need to go trim those off, and then I want to continue working on this part over here. I got most of that cleaned up last night. Just kind of working my way down this fence line and getting cleaned up. Now there is a trail right here that goes in and follows along that fence line, pretty cleared off and open next to that fence line once you get past these trees. So I want to clean all this, open that trail up so you can get in there and go down that way with the tractor. So anyway, that's what I'm going to try to work on today. Such a nice day. A little warm, but good breeze blowing. So anyway, I'm gonna get to work. I'm all loaded up and I'm getting ready to head back home. Spent let's see, about 4 days here getting everything cleaned up. There's my truck and travel trailer. Gotta do a little work on this thing. It stays out here amongst the elements, and mice get in there and start chewing on things. So mainly some water lines underneath, but I take it home periodically to get it all squared away. And she's been a good travel trailer, little toy hauler. Here's my pile of wood. I'm gonna show you. Did pretty good. Got several trees knocked down from up by the fence row, and I've got to split those bigger ones over there. And there's my little campsite. It's all vacant now. Before I park the trailer again, I'll level this pad off. May get a load of gravel in here and kind of shore it up. This dirt keeps washing away. Look at that view. Yeah, nice clouds rolling in. Be nice if we get some rain. It's awfully dry. A little fire pit over there. And I was working on my electrical too. Every time I come, I try to do a little something. I keep these electric fence up to keep the cows out so they don't come in and start rubbing on the camper. But this is my main going over to the campsite. Turn that off. And then this buried cable goes all the way out to my shed out there, my sea container. And I've already started wiring plugs and lights and everything on it. I need to do a little bit more wiring in here, and then I'll just connect this one over here to my main, and then I can have a breaker I can turn off going that direction, and then one going off in the other direction. So anyway, I'm going to get my electric fence back up and go to town, get some lunch, and head home. It's about a 3-hour drive from here. So there's one last look at the view. Someday it'd be nice to have a house sitting right here. We'll see. All right, it's been fun. We'll catch you next time. Bye. Shout out to the grandkids, O and O. Can't wait till y'all come out here and enjoy this ranch when you get a little older. So, y'all take care. Love you. Talk to you later. Bye.